From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
Thanks for joining us tonight. It is primary election day in Wisconsin.
If you haven't gotten out to vote yet, you still have time. Polls close at 8 o'clock tonight. We have team coverage at 6 o'clock. Jamie Perez and Danica Lewis are getting a look at some new technology being used during this election. The only race on the statewide ballot today is for the Supreme Court. Today's election will cut the field from 3 candidates to 2. This is supposed to be a nonpartisan race, though Justice Daniel Kelly has drawn support from conservatives and conservative groups. Dane County Circuit Judge Jill Karofsky and law professor Ed Falone have done the same from left-leaning groups.
Outside of the Supreme Court race, there are a handful of other races that we are following closely tonight. They include mayoral races in Edgerton and Middleton, Fitchburg City Council, Madison School Board, and a referendum for the River Ridge School District in Grant County. Now, there were some technical issues all day today with the My Vote Wisconsin website. Jamie Perez is here to explain how this affected voters. Jamie?
The Wisconsin Elections Commission runs that website, and as of 3 o'clock today, the site is now working, but they said around 7 this morning there was an issue with people being able to use its address service. Now, this was posted on the website today, spelling out that they would not be able to provide polling locations for people based on their address, nor could people see what their ballots would look like. They provided a link to a backup service for people to use while they worked to figure out what was wrong. The most recent update on the Wisconsin Election Commission website states the issue was caused by a server memory issue, and staffers are working to restore the system to full capacity. Now, while we understand that the timing raised some questions, this was purely an internal technical glitch, not the result of interference or the lack of testing protocols. Now, even with that said, there may still be delays with the website, so if you're still having those issues, the alternate website to use is still available to figure out where you're supposed to vote and what your ballot will look like.
Jamie, thank you. And dozens of municipalities across the state are registering voters electronically for the first time. Badger books are being introduced in places like Verona as a more efficient way to check in voters, process registrations, and compile information on the back end. It also takes away the need for paper poll books and lining up according to your last name to make a line for voting. Verona City Clerk says it was actually helpful to implement this new system on a slower election day so poll workers had time to work through the process. She also said voter feedback has been positive.
There's also new technology being tested out in Rock County today. It is a real-time way to assure voters that their ballot was counted. Danica Lewis has more in our team coverage tonight. Danica?
Well, Charlotte, this is called Election Guard. The Microsoft software generates a tracking code for each individual ballot to verify that their vote is counted in the final tally. It was tested out in the town of Fulton today. That's about 8 miles north of Janesville, where they expected about 400 voters to come out for the primary today. That's a large enough sample to analyze, but small enough that each individual ballot can also be hand counted by election officials to make sure the software is working properly and accurately.
The ability to have the election here in a way where we can test our technology, but the outcome of the election is based on counting the paper ballots, not on our technology, was a great first step for us to really learn how the technology works in the real world.
Microsoft's Vice President of Customer Security and Trust, who was on site today, says the company felt it had the responsibility to defend democracy after seeing what happened in the 2016 election with Russian interference, hacking, and overall concerns over election security. The Wisconsin Elections Commission unanimously approved last year testing out Election Guard today, but it has not been certified to be a statewide standard.
Danica Lewis reporting tonight. Danica, thank you.
Sure.
And again, the polls will close at 8 o'clock tonight, so you have a little less than 2 hours now to vote if you haven't already, and we will have all the results from the local races and the Supreme Court race. Join us tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
The city of Madison has declared a snow emergency in effect until Thursday morning. Streets Division crews said the wet, dense snow has made for slower plowing than previous storms this winter. Citywide plowing is expected to come to a close sometime this evening. Let's go to Chief Meteorologist Gary Penalty with our first warn forecast.
Well, hopefully you had a chance to clear off your driveways and sidewalks, because as temperatures drop off rapidly for tonight, that slushy snow will freeze pretty quickly. Live view from the WIC Skycam shows most mostly clear skies and that fresh blanket of snow across southern Wisconsin. As we check out temperatures, you'll see that for the most part, they're going to be dropping pretty quickly over the next few hours. Now that the sun is going down, by morning, we're going to be down to around 4 degrees above zero with wind chills, perhaps as cold as 10 below zero. Look for temperatures to only climb to a high of 18 tomorrow, even though we'll see bright sunshine. See a similar day with an even colder start on Thursday, but warmer weather's on the way for the weekend and perhaps a storm next week. I'll have more details on weather in a few minutes.
Gary, thank you. The leader of the Forest County Potawatomi community is urging Wisconsin lawmakers to work together to fight the scourge of opioid abuse that he said was hitting the state's native populations very hard.
We are all well aware of this problem as it's impacted every corner of our state. It has no regard for age, race, gender, or income. It has likely impacted many of you sitting here today. Unfortunately, I know firsthand the pain and suffering this epidemic is causing families.
Chairman Ned Daniels Jr. gave the annual State of the Tribes address inside the State Assembly today. Governor Tony Evers, members of the state Supreme Court, state senators, Attorney General Josh Cull, and many others joined with members of the Assembly for the address. The state legislature is taking on prescription drug costs today.
Amy Reed joins us now from the Capitol to explain how lawmakers hope to make that happen. Amy?
Every single member of the Assembly voted to pass this bill that regulates pharmacy benefit managers. You might have heard of these players before. They're a more hidden portion of the prescription drug pricing world. This bill that now heads to the Senate aims to make them less hidden. It requires pharmacy benefit managers, also called PBMs, to register with the state's Commissioner of Insurance, which will then regulate PBMs. There was a lot else thrown in too, and legislators said they learned a lot in this process.
For many of us, before we really dove into this issue, it was not something that many of us spent much time on. But we've heard personal stories, and we understand that the need for reform really is there.
The bipartisan group was, I think, aimed at, let's try to have more transparency, let's get rid of the incentives that drive up costs that are not consumer friendly, and let's remove the gag order that doesn't allow pharmacists to work with patients on how to best, fund, pay for, covers.
A couple other things in here. The bill prohibits health insurance policies or plans from penalizing pharmacists who disclose drug prices or other options to their patients. It also requires pharmacies to post their prices for their 100 most prescribed drugs and requires advance notice if the pill you're being prescribed will be switched out by the insurance for another. Now, as I said before, the Senate still needs to pass this, and then it goes on to the governor's desk before it would become law.
A Milwaukee man is charged with 3 counts of homicide after the deaths of a woman and her 2 young children this month. The disturbing criminal complaint into this case was just released today, just hours after Amara Banks had attended the funeral of her 21-month-old son. She started arguing with the boy's father, Arzel Ivory. The complaint says he pushed her into the wall and then strangled her. Ivory then told investigators he didn't want her 2 young girls to grow up without their mother. He says he told the girls he loved them and strangled both as well. He tried multiple ways of disposing the bodies before setting them on fire in an apartment building garage where he once lived. He was arrested in Memphis, Tennessee this weekend.
In Cottage Grove, police are trying to find the person or people responsible for a racist and homophobic spray painting on a garage door. The graffiti happened sometime overnight on Sunday and has since been covered up. Officers say a car and street sign nearby were also vandalized. Police say when they find out who did this, they could face city ordinance violation fines and potentially even have a hate crime charge. Deputies in Columbia County are asking for help finding an AWOL inmate who didn't return from his work release. That would be 32-year-old Brandon Shearer, due to return to the jail this morning but didn't show up. His last reported address was on State Road 16 in Portage. He is serving a 360-day and a 180-day sentence on several charges, including mistreatment of animals, disorderly conduct, and battery.
Still to come at 6, a $100,000 sports car is targeted by thieves.
Plus, a group of parents is suing the Madison School District, saying one of its policies is violating their constitutional rights. Stay with us.
Shop out the latest lighting styles at Menards. Over 12,500 lights and ceiling fans are on sale. Find your style with Patriot Lighting. The Chantel collection features a satin nickel or matte black finish with frosted glass. This 5-light chandelier is $124.99. This Matrix 52-inch indoor-outdoor ceiling fan in a matte black and brushed silver finish has natural wood blades and an integrated LED light kit. $169.99. Find amazing deals right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
President's Day means more savings at the Brothers Maine President's Day Super Sale. Get in right now for the sale of the season with more savings on more brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and Amana. We've got a lot more satisfaction for you at Maine, like up to 18-month 0% financing and free delivery to make life a little easier. Hey, there's more home satisfaction at the Moore store. The President's Day Super Sale. More selection, more savings, and more satisfaction today at the Brothers Maine, your local store for more since 1938.
So my son says to me, Mom, did you switch your Medicare plan yet? And I say, yes, Robert. Dad and I signed up for a Medicare Advantage plan through Senior Preferred. And he says, Senior Preferred? And I say, yes, Senior Preferred. They give us access to the doctors we want and the drug benefits we need. And he says, that's nice. So how is Dad doing? And I say, your father is fine. My living room, on the other hand.
Senior Preferred. Medicare Advantage plans built for you.
It's incredible. It's award-winning. It's the new Ram 1500 at Don Miller. With the President's Day event on now, there's great selection. The new Ram 1500, it's Green Car Journal's 2019 and 2020 Green Truck of the Year. Lease a new 2020 Ram 1500 Crew Cab Bighorn 4x4 for only $279 a month plus taxes and fees, 39 months, 10,000 miles per year, $34.99 due at signing. See salesperson for details. The President's Day event on now at Don Miller, your Madison truck headquarters.
Don Miller. The Dane County Sheriff's Office has launched a new smartphone app to help staff connect with county residents. It offers quick access to items of public interest like submitting a tip, receive emergency notifications, search and view local inmates, and view active arrest warrants. The app is available for free in the App Store and Google Play. Just search Dane Sheriff. Police say they have arrested a 16-year-old for stealing a $100,000 sports car. The Porsche Panamera was stolen from a driveway on Seminole Highway. The owner says he was letting his car warm up when it was taken. The owner and a friend of his tracked it down using a GPS. Nearby, police found two teenagers, one who admitted to driving the vehicle. The other teen, a 15-year-old, was released. The 16-year-old was booked into the Juvenile Reception Center.
The Madison School District is being sued by 14 parents, represented by the Wisconsin Institute of Law and Liberty. The conservative law firm says the district's transgender student policy is violating parents' constitutional rights. Our Amanda Quintana is here with more. Amanda?
Currently in the Madison School District, if a student expresses that they're transgender and wants to be called by a different name, the staff and teachers will call them that name so they feel supported, but they don't notify their parents. That's what this lawsuit is all about. For young transgender students, being called by the name and pronouns that feel right affirms their identity.
It's more than just a fad, it's more than just a phase. It really is about, having the right to be seen as who we are.
Brian Jukums, co-director of G-Safe, is working to make sure every Wisconsin school is a place where LGBTQ students can be who they are, saying Madison has the best transgender policy.
This policy and procedure really is designed to support students and to help students on their journey.
To do that, staff and teachers call a transgender student by the name they want to be called without telling their parents. That's where the Wisconsin Institute of Law and Liberty has an issue with it.
Effectively, what this is doing is taking a very significant and major life and healthcare related decision and telling students you have a right to make this totally independent of your parents, and we're actually going to help you hide this from your parents if you want.
Luke Berg is representing 14 Madison parents who feel their rights are being violated by being kept out of this big decision in their child's life.
And some parents who know their kids far better than the district does might, instead of an immediate transition, want to help their kids learn to find comfort with their body, if that's at all possible.
But Jukum says there might be a reason why the student isn't ready to come out to their parents, and having the school tell them could put the student in danger if their parents don't agree.
The lawsuit itself, I think, is causing panic and harm and concern among our students and our families. It feels like an affront to them, and it calls into question their sense of safety.
A spokesman for the Madison School District says it prioritizes the safety and well-being of every student, so they stand by that policy.
Amanda Quintana reporting. Amanda, thank you.
There is more to come at 6. Ahead in sports, as we deal with the cold and snow here, we will head to Arizona for an update on the Brewers' spring training.
But first, your updated first warn forecast as temperatures get ready to drop. Stay with us.
He's thinking recliner, you're thinking sofa. It's okay. Everyone wins at the President's Sale at Slumberland Furniture. 25% off unadvertised items and sale items marked down even more. This sofa for just $398. This bed just $298 with base. This Sealy Posturepedic pillow top mattress for only $394. That's over $800 off. And did you know you get free shipping with no minimum? And most items can be in your home in a week. Hurry, the President's Sale ends soon at Slumberland Furniture.
When you're sick, so sick your heart hurts.
And your mind races.
When you think that you might have cancer, and then they tell you,
You have cancer.
And you just want somebody to say,
it's going to be okay.
This is where we treat cancers that were once thought untreatable, where success is measured in lives saved and dreams fulfilled. UW Health. Remarkable medicine. Remarkable care.
The windows on our homes, we probably don't give them much thought. They're just there, doing what windows do. It's true, they add character and personality. They connect the inside to the outside, and the other way around. But they're also there to do much more. They're there to frame a smile. They provide the perfect light for the perfect moment. They help protect us and the ones we love.
All right then, why do professional builders and remodelers choose Nonn's? Seems to be reason number 151, which must be Nonn's boutique selections. And maybe the big box prices? Ah yeah, best of both worlds. Just like at the big box. Oh, maybe not. So why should you choose Nonn's? Isn't it obvious? Nonn's. Kitchen, bath, and flooring.
You call me devious, but you don't understand that all I am is a little mysterious.
So what do you think?
I love it.
Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joins us now, and it was sure nice to see the sun today.
It was, and today wasn't bad temperature-wise. I mean, the really cold air really hasn't reached us, but it's starting to filter in, and I think our temperature is going to drop off pretty rapidly now that the sun is going down. Still have alert days in the forecast for tomorrow and for Thursday. But tomorrow morning, low temperatures will stay above zero, but not by very much, and wind chills in the morning could be as cold as 10 below zero. Afternoon high temperatures only in the upper teens, when we should be looking at high temperatures in the middle 30s. And then for tomorrow, or for Thursday, we'll look for low temperatures to actually drop below zero, with wind chills perhaps as cold as 15 below zero. High temperatures, again, in the upper teens. As we look at Doppler track, the relatively open waters of the Great Lakes continuing to generate lake effect snows downwind from Lake Superior and even the northern portion of Lake Michigan. But elsewhere, the Midwest is pretty quiet. Three things you need to know in the forecast. The very cold weather will continue probably through Thursday night. Then we'll start to see temperatures climb later Thursday night. By Friday, we're back up to 30 degrees. Milder weather is expected this weekend with high temperatures around 40 for both Saturday and Sunday. And then we'll watch a storm system for the middle part of next week. Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday is the time period we're watching for the potential for a developing winter storm system that could be here or nearby. Temperatures will be very cold over the next couple of days. Then we'll see that rapid warm up, bringing our temperatures above normal as we head into the weekend. But notice those normal temperatures now are getting into the middle 30s. So, while our temperatures are getting a little milder, the average temperature temperatures are going up just as quickly. And then after that storm system, the temperatures will drop back off into the 20s for the end of next week. The first thing we look at when we start seeing a change in the overall weather pattern is out in the Pacific Ocean. You can see several storm systems, one lined up right after the other, going all the way back to Japan and the eastern portion of Asia. So that's an indication that the atmosphere is going to start recharging. In the short term, things are very quiet, especially from basically just off the Pacific coast through much of the northern part of the United States. You don't see any big active weather systems. The last system that brought us the snow, now moving the snow into New England, and the southern part of that storm bringing showers and thunderstorms to a part of the country that doesn't need any more rain south of the Ohio River. But notice much of the western two-thirds of the country very quiet. So that means we'll see relatively quiet conditions over the next few days. Zooming into the Midwest, the upper level winds already are from west to east. So the cold, we're not getting the direct shot of cold air out of Canada, just kind of oozing southward. And we look at that storm system for the middle part of next week, we start to see those rapid temperature changes. You have the potential for a winter storm to develop. One of the computer models indicating a pretty major storm from southern Minnesota, northern Iowa, through much of Wisconsin with the potential for a foot or more of snow. The other longer range computer model showing a more benign weather system with several inches of snow, but spread out over about a day and a half through the central and southern portions of the Midwest. So our forecast for tomorrow calls for skies to become mostly sunny. It'll still be very cold, high temperature at 18 degrees. And then as we check out future track, you can see those temperatures tonight dropping down into the single digits with wind chills perhaps as cold as 10 below zero. Highs tomorrow only in the upper teens. Tomorrow night with clear skies, even colder, low temperatures below zero with wind chills as cold as 15 below zero and highs back in the upper teens for Thursday. But looking at the 7 to 10 day forecast, we'll see a rapid warm up back to around 40 for the weekend. Slight chance of a shower Sunday afternoon, ending as a few flurries on Monday. Then we watch that Tuesday afternoon to Wednesday time period, followed by colder weather at the end of next week.
All right, haven't you missed the sound of baseball bats cracking against baseballs? Well, Christian Yelich and the Brewers definitely have. What happened on day one of spring training? Sports is next.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Ish Monroe, Mark Zona, Pete Maynard, Tommy Kimo, and other fishing experts will be speaking at the Wisconsin Fishing Expo, February 28th through March 1st at the Exhibition Hall at the Alliant Energy Center. Same great show with a hot new look, now with even more booths. New Kids Fishing Bingo for the first 500 kids per day. Over 300 booths, hundreds of boats priced to sell, more gear and tackle than ever. Go to wifishingexpo.com for details. Kids 12 and under free.
The new year is well underway. It's time to shake off the dust and get a jump start on your home improvement projects with Feldco. For a limited time, save 40% on our energy-efficient windows. And if you get your home windows replaced now, you can take advantage of no interest until 2021. This is an opportunity you don't want to pass up.
40% off and soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
This is a story of the American dream. It starts here, in a middle-class neighborhood with a middle-class kid named Mike. When his father died, his mother went to work and became the breadwinner. She instilled in Mike a belief in hard work and a drive to build a better life. So he started a company from scratch with an idea and endless hours. Today, that makes him the only Democrat in the race who's created 20,000 jobs. He's the only Democrat who's run the largest and most diverse city in America, rebuilding after 9/11, creating over 450,000 jobs and expanding health care coverage to 700,000 people. The only Democrat who's built a grassroots movement to combat gun violence, and he's a leader combating climate change. The only Democrat who's never taken a penny from special interests. Now Mike is running to deliver on the American dream for everyone with common sense solutions and the ability to get it done, because Mike Bloomberg is the only Democrat who can take on Trump, and Trump knows it.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
It's no secret, Robertson is Wisconsin's aesthetic leader. But with results this natural, patients can keep it a secret if they want. Our secret to reducing stubborn body fat? Cool Sculpting. And now with 25% off, it's time to learn how Cool Sculpting is different at Robertson.
Hi everyone, we're past the snow, but now we have to deal with the cold. Hattie will let us know what kind of layers we need to have as we head out the door.
That cold means you will have to wait to get your car washed. We'll tell you what kind of damage the winter's been doing to the family car.
See you in the morning.
on a t-shirt. This image here, Badgers head coach Greg Gard on a shirt made by John Rothstein from CBS Sports, calling him, quote-unquote, the silent assassin here. A nickname Gard has earned on social media for being steady and calm, but deadly in coaching games. Wisconsin hosting Purdue at the Kohl Center tonight. Tip-off is underway right now. The Badgers ahead by 5, including a slam dunk by Reverend Pritzl. Badgers will have won their last 3 of 4 games, but Purdue head coach Matt Painter is 5-6 at the Kohl Center. The women's team hoping that the Kohl Center floor will work in its favor tomorrow night. Wisconsin hosting Maryland. The Terrapins have won 11 in a row and are 22-4 on the season. Now, their head coach Brenda Frese has a consistent history of recruiting talent and producing players that win national championships. Badgers head coach Jonathan Sippes says that in itself is talent.
Do have kids who are listed as guards and as post players, but they always have kids that have tremendous skill sets that are very, very versatile. And she does a good job, I think, of giving them enough freedom to be able to create things.
Well, last night we told you that NASCAR driver Ryan Newman was in serious condition but did not have any life-threatening injuries after a crash in the final lap of the Daytona 500. Now, the 42-year-old is still in the hospital in Daytona Beach, but he is awake and able to talk as of this afternoon. Newman is part of the Roush Fenway racing team. They released this statement earlier today, thanking fans and the NASCAR community for all of their support and compassion in the last 24 hours. The Newman family also expressing their appreciation for all of the messages from all over the country. Well, lots of new faces on the Brewers spring training roster this year. Day 1 in the books, and it was mostly getting acquainted with some of those new faces, like Avisail Garcia. The right fielder signed with the Brewers in December, and Christian Yelich will now shift over to left field, by the way. So for guys like Garcia, these next few weeks are about proving yourself, while veteran leaders like Ryan Braun, they're making sure everyone, especially those new guys, aren't wasting a single second of spring training.
Trying to get the most out of every day, of recognizing that you don't know which day it will be that sets the team on the trajectory to ultimately end up in the postseason. So for each guy individually, it's about trying to get the most out of every single day that ultimately puts each of us in the optimal position to be successful.
I'm a good teammate. I'm the guy that I play hard every single game, and I hustle down the line. You know, I play to win. I play to win, and if somebody need me, I will be there for them.
The Brewers' home opener is on March 26th against the Cubs, and thankfully there's a roof at Miller Park because Twins fans aren't as lucky here. Hopefully by the time the home opener in Minnesota rolls around, it'll be a little bit more like that, a little more green than white. Crews actually say, though, I didn't know this is interesting, that all the snow will actually help the grass stay insulated underneath the tarp. Who knew? Their opening day, by the way, April 2nd, so they've got a little bit more time against the Oakland A's.
Good and well, but you got to have all that snow gone.
I know. I'm just trying to be optimistic here, okay?
It doesn't let the cold,
well,
you know.
See, Gary's on my side.
So it's like insulation.
It's just it can't be there when they play. Is my point.
Obviously,
I always wonder why they didn't put a roof on that place up there.
I've been to games at Wrigley Field where there's been snow on the ivy, you know, on opening day.
That's not fun.
No, it isn't. And the Cubs home opener is just a couple days after they open against the Brewers. The Cubs home opener is March 30th.
You have
in Chicago. Not yet. I'll find out.
I'll get them.
Well, anyway, I've got a ways to go before I have to worry about opening day. Tonight, we got to worry about those falling temperatures. We're going to be down around 4 degrees by tomorrow morning with wind chills as cold as 10 below zero. Look for high temperatures tomorrow, only in the upper teens, but lots of sunshine there. That's the good news. Similar day for Thursday, even though we start out a little colder at 4 below zero, and wind chills perhaps as cold as 15 below. But high temperatures back up to 30 on Friday and around 40 for the weekend. Watch a storm Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday of next week, starting out as a mix of rain and snow, and then maybe some insulating snow for the baseball fields Tuesday night and Wednesday before we turn colder at the end of next week.
It's a nice spin to it.
Exactly.
Gary, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Have a great evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.